with friends and family, and that today was better than yesterday. First and foremost, don't forget to subscribe to this channel and hit the notification bell, comment this video, and share this video. And thank you for everybody that's catching this on the replay. So this week, Del Rio, Texas was in every single newspaper and news station around the world. And there were a lot of conflicting reports about the stuff that was going on down here. And let's first look at the local newspaper for, you know, Del Rio, one of the local newspapers. And this is how they reported it, okay? This is Del Rio. Haitians invade Del Rio. The Conexión del Rio, right here, unprecedented flow. So the first newspaper was dated September 19th. Second newspaper dated Thursday the 23rd. And for Sunday, September 26th, we have DPS seals border with steel wall. So that is what the local newspapers here in the area said. Now, a lot has been said about how all these people got here. Most of the people that were in the Del Rio area camped under the bridge are people that have been living in Mexico, Peru, and Chile and Brazil for years. Some of them have been living there since the earthquake of 2010. Others have been living there more recently, within the last 3 years, 4 years. If you remember, during the 2018 caravans that were going through San Isidro, there were memes about the people of TJ joining with the Haitians that were already there to kick the Salvadorians, Guatemalans, and Hondurans out of Tijuana. Like, they banded together. There were memes of like Haiti and Tijuana against invaders. You can look it up. Now, most of these people are economic migrants, and that is a very high bar that you have to pass in order to get asylum. Yes, there's conventions against torture, and asylum is mostly for persecution and political persecution and torture from the government or whatever country that you're from. So, no, people did not get on boats to Mexico or boats to the border. They started walking over the last month, some shorter, maybe the last 2 weeks, depending on what part of Mexico or Central and South America they were living in, and they started moving north. Some of these people there had kids. A lot of them had kids, were family units. Their kids were born in Chile. Others were born in Brazil. So those children have citizenship and have status, whether it's Brazil or Chile, but their parents couldn't stay there any longer, and they had to move. Now, once there was a change of the power structure in the United States, it was seen that the president was basically inviting people, or what he said during the debates with former President Trump uh, were taken as an invitation to come, and they came. Regarding there were reports of uh, the planes being overtaken or hijacked. Technically, hijack, uh, no, because the plane was already on the ground in Port-au-Prince. Now the buses, yes, that's a whole other story. That there was a bus that the Haitians were able to take control of the bus. About 29 of them escaped, and as of last that was reported, 25 of them uh, were apprehended. Another question that's out there is, what happened to all these people? Where did they go? There were 18,000 people there, and they just like vanished in like 2 days or over the weekend while people were uh, watching football. How did that happen? Well, when the government wants to get something done, especially because the optics are not good, they'll make it happen. As Secretary Mayorkas said, the latest numbers that he had, 12,000 people were given notices to report, so they will have a court date. 5,000 people are still awaiting processing. 2,000 people, give or take, were deported, and an untold number of people went back to Mexico out of those 18,000 that were there, whether if it's to just wait it out in Ciudad Acuña, or they are regrouping and making their way, trying to get through another port of entry, whether it be Eagle Pass, Laredo, you know, or Brownsville, but that's too far that way. Do when at the peak of the crisis, they had state of Texas. Every hotel here had DPS troopers on it. Some of the hotels were booked solid just with DPS. There were cops here in the state of Texas. There were cops here all the way from Galveston. Galveston is 6 hours away, and they were here. So originally, once you go down to where the port of entry is at, if you go over the bridge on the, as you're going towards Ciudad Acuña on the right hand side, there's a dam, small little dam. It's not a dam as you would imagine on the picture or the movies where all the waters are, this is the dam and all the water's over here, and they have the doors and they open them up every once in a while to let the water come down. It's a dam that's just built and then curved, and then the water just flows over it. Slows down the flow of the river. Doesn't stop it, it just slows it down. So the way the dam is built, it makes you, if you're walking on the dam, it's ankle deep water, so it's easy to cross, and that's what they were using to go back and forth. Now, in the issue with the horses that have since been stabled, uh, if you, and this is my understanding, if you leave your country because you're fearing torture or persecution, and you get to another country, whether it be Mexico, Brazil, Guatemala, whichever, you have already escaped whatever made you leave. So you could claim for asylum in that first country. You just can't go asylum shopping. Some, my understanding, because of interviews that I've seen, did claim asylum in those countries. And because they claimed asylum in those countries, some asylum was granted. In other countries, it was denied, and they had to like leave. Or they had a kid in that country, and then that kid provided them with at least a certain amount of time to stay there until the time expired, whatever that may be. Because the kid, if the kid's born in Chile, he's got Chilean citizenship. The kid can stay there forever. Parents, however, can't stay there forever. Now, once they left Mexico and crossed into the United States, crossed illegally, the port of entry was closed, so you couldn't present yourself to the port of entry to then make a claim. That's my understanding. So if you cross into the United States, legally or not, you did it to claim asylum. So now you're in the camp, you're claiming asylum, or you want to claim asylum. If you go back to Mexico, right, to do whatever, go take a shower, spend the night, get some food, you basically self-deported. So either you're claiming asylum or you're not claiming asylum, because you can't keep coming and going. So the horse patrol was there whenever the people would leave to keep them from coming back. And after a couple days, especially after the issue with the horses, that it was labeled by the media that people were getting whipped, and then the debate became whips versus reins, and if it's a rein and they still do a whipping motion, they are whipping you. Craziness. Whenever force is used on people, it'll never look pretty, no matter what happens. So that's when the DPS came down and created basically this steel wall. So they lined all their vehicles. So down here, you will have the river and the dam, and then you put all these vehicles here as a show of force, so that it discourages people from crossing. So there was a lot of misinformation, a lot of political angles that were being discussed in media. And the issue is, why are these people coming? Well, because America, whether you love it or hate it, still to this day is the land of opportunity. And I truly believe it. Call me somebody that drank the Kool-Aid, call me a romantic, but that's how I feel. It is what it is. If we're such a horrible, racist, imperialistic country, why are people willing to cross deserts and rivers and multiple countries to come here? Why? Because they want that chance, they want that shot, they want safety, they want to be free. If you never left the United States, I encourage you to get a passport and travel a little bit, and maybe you'll see your country in a different light. There is a movement that basically wants this country to fail, to disintegrate, to stop being, that shining city on the hill. And I'll be damned if that happens on my watch. I'll make sure, along with many others, that we do not fail. And you can call it arrogant, manifest destiny, or whichever way you want to word it or frame it. This is the last chance at freedom and opportunity. If we fail, the world fails. But rambling too long already. It's my first live, so be kind and let you guys be. Have a good night. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Appreciate you. Thank you. Have a good night.